is. And he's gone down the ground. I think it's massive. He has cleared it. That is a phenomenal hit from Dhoni. Maybe he's timed it to perfection.
Unbelievable cricket. Really unbelievable. It needed a Yorker. It wasn't a Yorker. He is so powerful in the arms, and that one has gone to the long boundary down the ground. Now that has changed things.
Well, that is huge. You can't explain how big that is. That's probably the biggest boundary in Australia there. And he's cleared it comfortably when he needed 12 or 4.
Because there's no excuses for the batsman not to make runs on this surface. That's 6. Don't worry about it. That's a long way back. That's miles back. That's exactly what Barry was talking about. You toss it up, you're going to get spanked. Unfortunately, it has that lovely bounce to pitch. You can get under it and the ball disappears.
Well, Ijaz, he's thrown everything at this one. He's drop-kicked it many a mile. They'll find that ball in Dubai somewhere, probably at the hotel we're staying at. Waca uses his feet down here. Beautifully picked up, and that's gone miles. Right, well, it's the back part of the roof, and that's a huge hit, because that roof must be about 35, 40 metres high. That's straight off the middle, and he's a strong man, Ijaz. He has spanked that.
This is the normal way he plays. He goes from outside to in, over long on, mid-wicket. The leg side's his favourite area. I said about an hour ago, sometimes he scratches around a bit when he first goes in because he shuffles on the green.
Oh, that stays hit. That is a massive blow again. And for the second time, he puts it on the roof.
Wow. India, if you didn't know the power of this man, you're learning it very quickly. It's back of a length. And he's put the second one onto the roof. To the longest part of the boundary, over mid-wicket. Just crunch. Talk that maybe gone over the stand. Get the measurements out. That is massive.
That's the first one. And we thought that was big. It's just been bettered by this. That's somewhere in the car park.
That's massive. Napier's not a big ground square, but that goes to the corner, which is big because it's long straight. Over the grandstand into the car park. How far is it? That's what we want to know. This virtual showing us how far. 122 metres.
It's a really, really tough chance.
Chris Gayle's now trying to reassert his dominance, particularly on Mark Gillespie.
That's working. That is massive. It's huge. It's in someone's backyard, and if you don't want to throw it back, folks, don't. Get them to sign it later. It's downtown. It has gone miles. It would have gone through the old Mackenzie stand if it had been there.
Doesn't he like hitting big sixes in this ground? The test match, we saw one on the roof here right above us. And this one here into the backyard, and people, that is a huge hit.
Yeah, don't give it back, folks. It's one for history, because it would have hit the new Graham Lowe stand if it had been there. And of course it would have bounced back off the new Graham Lowe stand.
That's one of the biggest hits you'll see. That's a magnificent hit. Afridi's hit it up at the top of the stand, and this full house, they're loving it. That's as good as you'll see.
When you can hit the ball as well as that and as far as that, why would you want to be backing away and improvising? Just a full swing of the bat right through the line of the ball, a proper cricket shot, and it disappears for 12. Well, he'll only get 6, but it should have been 12.
And he gets a single down to the third man. Good intelligent batting. That's one of the longest hits you've seen. Mark Waugh hit one up on the roof here, the river end, but this is down towards the old members, and that's a high ball. Look at it go. People up in the tier there.
Past Tansalvi.
Dhoni this time, my goodness. Well, I don't know what I've seen. A better one than that. That is just incredible. 44 gone here at AMI. 328 for 3. It all happened a little too quickly, but Mahendra Singh Dhoni has brought up 50 of 45 deliveries.
That's why Australia are such a good side, because they can maintain the pressure for that long. England are another side that play well in patches, but then they'll have a bad period. And against a side like Australia, that's all they need.
Oh, he's had a go at that one. That one he has hit well. That one sailing way down over the deep long on fence. And a big 6 it is as well. Well, he may have mishit a few, but that one was really sweetly hit right off the meat of the bat. And that is more like the Mark Waugh we know. 3 down for 183. Three for 183. We've got a bit of a pause here because we're sitting up in the commentary box. I lost sight of that. One of the reasons may be because the ball ended up hitting the roof. If it did, this is a huge 6. Have a look at this. He's whacked it. Up she goes. There it is. You can see it. Now, where does it come down? On the roof of the stand. Well, that is a huge hit. Whoa.
That's an enormous hit. No wonder Mark Waugh was standing there admiring it. Well, that's a huge hit. I have no idea how high it is up here, but it's very high.
A few words exchanged between Yuvraj and Flintoff.
I wouldn't bother Yuvraj if I was you. That's huge! That is a biggie! It's out of here! Ravi, I'm backing this one. I think this is one of the biggest. Into orbit. Even bringing smoke in the clouds, this. Off the bat, it's still in there. We've lost it. There it is again. That's a biggie. Keep going. Oh, I don't know how far this is.
Oh, that's crunched. And when he hits them, they go a long way.
That's up the top. That made a magnificent crack of leather on Willow, and it's gone into the top tier by the look of the crowds. I lost it in the air, but they're all looking up. That is a mile. It might have hit the canopy. They don't know where it is. The crowd have lost it. He has hammered that just the right length to get up and under. Just finished talking about how he's working the singles around beautifully. Look at this. Wow.
I was just thinking, one of those 4s that we showed you on replay, the bat sounded really good, but it didn't sound quite as good as that one. That made a wonderful crack. Wonderful for Brett Lee. Not so sure that Darren Powell enjoyed it.
That's the area he took the flint off in England as well. Stands and delivers. And the bowler digs it in. He can still flat bat it that way.
and get some great power behind it. They've lost it, have they? I'd like it confirmed as to where it landed, whether it landed in the race in the top deck and went through and out the back of the stadium. Those little tunnels that get through to the concourse out the back of the grandstands. Darren Powell, have a look at his eyes straight away. Oh, he knows. Didn't that sound good? It's a mystery, the mystery of the disappearing ball, and when that happens, Ian Chappell, I've got a trivia question for you.
Brett Lee made more useful runs yesterday, as he had done all through the Tour of England, but never can he have hit the ball further than that. Onto the canopy of the new stands here in the stadium at the Gabba, and then over it and onto the net practice area. Unbelievable strike. We don't know exactly how far, but people are estimating between 105 metres and 135 metres. That's a serious blow. One of the brightest stars in the Australian game. And while the West Indians reminded us that they could play soccer yesterday evening, Simon O'Donnell had a chat with Brett.
I reckon there's a few fast bowlers around the world that are now going to strive to get to 150 Ks with you, even if their fastest is only 130, because I can just turn your attentions over your left shoulder. There is no way known you have hit a cricket ball from the middle of the Gabba over that canopy, the top of that roof. Impossible. Did it go over or didn't it?
Well, it went over. Yeah, it went over the roof, and I think it landed on the net. And a couple of our fitness coaches went down and retrieved the ball off the net, I think. And I've got the ball in the shed back in the back in the room. So it was pretty handy.
You're telling me it didn't go through that gap? It actually went over.
It went over the sail. Yeah.
It could be the biggest hit in world cricket.
It just felt pretty good. I was thinking, well, look, if they're going to go out there and bounce me, and I almost got cleaned up with that other ball. It missed my throat by about a centimetre. I actually felt it go past. I thought, well, if the ball's there to hit and they're going to keep bowling short, I'm going to try and have a crack at one, and it just come off the middle.
A couple of those big innings.
What about that six? I mean, you both have both played there. How enormous was that?
Well, that's a par 3, isn't it, for me? That is, what's that gone, 120 metres perhaps? I know it's at altitude, and they say, what were you saying, it's 10%?
Well, the ball goes about 10% further. That's what the golfers say, don't they?
That is
out there.
Unbelievable. I mean, he's a big hitter. Anyway,
he's been threatening to do this for about 2 years, to get one right out the screws. He's been swinging for 2 years, and this is just literally the perfect kind of shot, isn't it? The bat speed that's got into that, out the middle of the bat.
I think there's a great reverse angle coming up now. I mean, that obviously just proves he hit it in the middle of the bat, but there's one that's sort of coming in a minute from third slip. And you mentioned golf. I mean, it's like a McIlroy driver.
Well, it is, isn't it?
Like
Look at that follow-through, but... You know, when you hit it into the stand, it's a big hit. But that has hit the roof and gone over it. That's ended up in the golf course there.
It is. It's got a little bit of a draw on it.
Yeah, it is like a McIlroy driver.
It's absolutely beautiful flight to it, isn't it?
What? Here we go.
Look at that follow-through.
Now the hang time on that cricket. That's a cricket ball. I just remember this is 5.5 ounces.
It's not a golf ball. There it goes into the golf course. What's the biggest six you've seen?
There's been lots.
But not off your bowling.
Usually you bowl it and don't look.
But it is, there's that wow fact. There are sixes. I mean, that's a 10, wouldn't it?
Gayle hit a massive
Brett
six
Lee,
off Brett Lee, didn't
They're all
he?
at the Oval as well, aren't they? But that was huge, wasn't it?
I remember seeing Mark Waugh hit Daniel Vittori onto the roof of the Lily Marsh stand at the Waca.
At the Waca.
Brett Lee, Brisbane. That's probably one of the biggest. He hit it out of Brisbane.
Hit it to Adelaide, did he?
Into Perth. Hit it out of the stadium at Brisbane and landed in the nets.
You should get 12.
You should
get 12.
You better play your joke
like
and double it up for
I think we
certain
need bigger
shots.
grounds these days, though.
Well, it was brilliant from Afridi. It's at 88 off 48, 7-6, including an absolute monster. South Africa take